paper 3 today of November 2021. So let's have a look at the first few questions. So what's the first question say? It says a scatter graph shows the information about the volume of traffic and carbon monoxide level at a point on a road each day for 22 days. Okay. 1 point is an outlier. Write down the coordinates of this point. Okay, so we can see that this point here is the one that doesn't fit all the rest of the data. So it's like miles out, so that's the outlier. Okay, and the coordinates of that is 118. For another day, 370 cars passed the point on the road. Estimate the carbon dioxide level for this day. So we just need to read the scale, go across to 370, go up, go along, and read off that value there. I've got it as 13.5, but they've said they'll accept answers in the range 12.8 to 14.8. Okay, one more little bit to this question. Alfie says that because there is an outlier, that means that there is no correlation. Is Alfie correct? And the answer is no, because the outlier can be ignored. So if we disregard the outlier, then there clearly is a positive correlation. So that's question 1 done. Right, question 2. Let's have a look what's going on with this one. So question 2, it says, Natalie makes potato cakes in a restaurant. She mixes potato, cheese, and onion. So the weight of potato to the ratio of weight of cheese to the ratio of weight of onion is 9 to 2 to 1. Natalie needs to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes, and cheese costs £2.25 for 175 grams. Work out the cost of the cheese needed to make the 6,000 grams of potato cakes. So step 1 is we need to divide 6,000 into the ratio of 9 to 2 to 1. So 9 add 2 add 1 is 12. 6,000 over 12 gives us 500. So every 1 in our ratio stands for 500 grams. So we know that potato to cheese to onion is 9 to 2 to 1. So we're going to do 500 times 9 gives us 4,500 grams of potato is needed. 500 times 2 is 1,000 grams of cheese. And 1 times 500 is 500 grams of onion. Now, we're interested in particular about how much cheese is needed. And we know that cheese comes in these blocks of 175 grams. So we're going to say, how many of these blocks of cheese do we need? 1,000 divided by 1.75 is 5.71. So that's the amount of 175 that we need. So then we multiply that by the cost of each one of those blocks to find out the total cost for the cheese. Okay, now that's fine. But it's interesting to note that I've put the student-friendly mark scheme up here on the left, but the official mark scheme says that they will accept 2.25 times 6, because you might be of the opinion that, you can't go and buy 5.71 block, of these 175 gram blocks. So, you might be in a place where you can ask for exactly how much cheese you need. But if you're in, say, for example, a supermarket where you can only buy them in packs of 175, then you'd have to buy 6 packs. So for that reason, they also accept this as an alternative, that you'd need to buy 6 packs, so therefore 2.25 times that. But for this particular question, because it wasn't really clear, they would accept either one of those answers. Okay, and they're giving us either £12.86 or £13.50. Question 3. Write 4.5 times 10 to the 5 as an ordinary number. So what I would do is you're going to imagine that we're going to have 5 zeros that are going to come after the 4. So you've got 4, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the way I think of it is I think that one of those zeros has been used up by a 5. So you're going to have 4, 5, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros after. Okay, which is 450,000. Write 0.007 in standard form. Again, I know there's lots of ways that teachers teach this, but I think of it as moving the decimal point. So the decimal point is going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. And as it's gone 3 places, that means we're going to have 7 times 10 to the minus 3 to change that into standard form. Work out 4.2 times 10 to the 3, add 5.3 times 10 squared. Now, in order to work this out, I think the best thing to do is to write them both as regular numbers and then go from there. So if I write this as a regular number, that's going to give me 4,200, add 530. And then you add those together, and that gives you 4,730. Okay. But we've got to now change that back into standard form. Okay, so we've just got to write 4,730 in standard form. So the decimal point is going to go from there 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So that's going to be 4.73 times 10 to the 3. So the key with those kind of ones where you're adding or subtracting them is to write them as regular numbers first. Okay, next question. The next question is number 4. Okay, let's have a look at question 4. There we go. Question 4, there it is. A water tank is empty. Ēnil needs to fill the tank with 2,400 litres of water. Company A supplies water at a rate of 8 litres in 1 minute and 40 seconds. And Company B supplies the water at a rate of 2.2 gallons per minute. Okay. 1 gallon, it says, is 4.54 litres. Company A was going to take longer to fill the tank than Company B. How much more time? Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. Okay. Well, let's turn our attention to Company A. How long is it going to take Company A to fill this water tank? So we know that it fills it at a rate of 8 litres in 1 minute and 40 seconds. So we need to see how many lots of these 1 minute and 40 seconds do we need. So 2,400 divided by 8 means there's 300 lots of them. Okay, so that's 300 times 1 minute 40. 1 minute 40 is 600 seconds. It's 100 seconds because it is 60 seconds add 40 seconds. So therefore the total time is 300 times 100, which is going to be this number of seconds, so 30,000 seconds. We then divide that by 60 to change it into minutes, and that's going to take 500 minutes for Water Company A to fill the tank. Okay, let's turn our attention now to Water Company B. So we need to do, first of all, we need to change from gallons into litres. So we're going to do 2.2 gallons, times it by the conversion, 4.54. So that is equal to 9.988 litres per minute. So we then, to see how long it's going to take Company B, we divide the volume of the tank by the rate, which gives us 240 minutes. Okay, so therefore the time difference between the two companies is going to be 500 take away 240, which is 260. So 260 minutes is how much longer it's going to take Company A to fill the water tank. Right, question 5, nice little one here. The first 4 terms of the Fibonacci sequence, of a Fibonacci sequence, are A, 2A, 3A, 5A. The sum of the first 5 terms is 228. Work out the value of A. Well, the problem we've got is that we've only been given 4 terms. So we need to work out the next term. Now, in a Fibonacci sequence, we add the 2 preceding terms together to get the subsequent term. So 2 add 1 is 3, so that's going to be 3. 3 add 2 is 5, so that's going to be 5. 5 add 3 is 8, so that's going to be 8. So in other words, the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth terms all added together equals 228. Now, when you add all of those together, that comes to 19A. So 19A equals 228, and then we divide by 19 to give us A is 12. Quite a nice question there for question 5. Question 6, which I think is the last one I'll do in this video before moving on to the next one. So let's have a look at question 6. What does it say? In a bag, there are only red counters, blue counters, green counters, and pink counters. A counter is going to be taken at random from the bag. The table shows the probabilities of taking a red or a blue counter. Okay, so that is the 0.05 and the 0.15. The probability of taking a green counter is 0.2 more than the probability of taking a pink counter. So what we need to do is work out what have we got to play with for these two. Well, we know that this, add this, add this, add this, all has to come to 1. So the missing bit for these two is going to be 1, take away that, which is 0.8. So we've got to somehow divide 0.8 between here and here in such a way that the green is 0.2 more than the pink. So that only leaves us with the option that that must be 0.5 and that must be 0.3, because they add together to make 0.8, and this one is 0.2 less than that one. So that's the correct answer for part A. Now, it says there are 18 blue counters in the bag. Work out the total number of counters that are in the bag altogether. Now, if there are 18, notice the probability of blue is 0.15, which corresponds to 15%. So what we're saying is that 15% of the total number of counters in a bag is 18. So we just need to change this now into what 100% is. So we say divide both sides by 15. So 18 over 15 is 1%, times by 100. So 18 over 15 times 100 tells us what 100% of the counters is. And that is 120. So there are 120 counters in that bag. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you in the next video.